Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on the Ironman profile. For those of you who haven't seen yesterday's video, I definitely recommend that you go check it out because today is almost a continuation. Yesterday we got a Shadow Fury from a bedrock chest on floor 5, which is ridiculous. This thing set me back 15 million coins. Your boy is broke now, but at least we have a Shadow Fury to show for it. And today we're going to be putting basically everything that we can on this thing, testing it out, seeing if this is actually viable, basically testing to see if I wasted 15 million coins or if this isn't something I'm gonna regret. So I'm excited to check this out. Hopefully you guys are as well. But if we can hit 2,000 likes on today's episode, then I will upload another episode tomorrow. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. However, before we jump straight into this one, really quickly, just do me a favor and check to see if you're subscribed. If you're not, then please consider doing so. Only a small percentage of the people watching these videos are actually subscribed, and a lot of work goes into these, and this happens to be my full-time job now. I do YouTube as a full-time thing. If you want to support me in any way, subscribing is definitely the biggest way. So hit that subscribe button. It helps a ton. But without further ado, let's jump straight into today's episode. So there's a couple things that I want to do as a starter with this thing. First off, I want to show you guys how much damage it does with nothing on, and we can compare it at the end to see if our changes have added damage or taken away. I'm quite confident that they will add, but why would they take away? But either way, let's go ahead and hit a zombie. 27,000 damage. And what I find the coolest thing about this weapon, this wasn't really a weapon I got to test out too much on my main profile because I kind of just skipped it and I bought a Hyperion when that came out, so I didn't really get a chance to truly check out the Shadow Fury. And so its ability, Shadow Fury, rapidly teleports you to up to 5 enemies within 12 blocks, rooting each of them and allowing you to hit them. It has a 15-second cooldown, but this ability is actually really fascinating to me. Let's say we're up here, we're up around, I right click and it teleports me to 5 different mobs and I can just swing at them. Obviously there's situations where this might get a little bit annoying, but as a whole I think that is super cool and really unique. So I'm actually excited to try and find ways where this is useful. Let's say you're grinding something and you're like, oh yeah, I need to kill some mobs. There we go, killed 5. Doing slayers in the crypts area, I could see this actually being quite viable. I'm not even trolling. So I'm excited to test all that stuff out today, but first we need to up our damage from 27,000. We need to see that number go a little bit higher. So my first plan is by putting on some hot potato books. why did I do AH? What am I trying to do? AV. There we go. Anvil. We have our Shadow Fury here. By the way, the base stats alone are pretty crazy. Gear score 525. Damage base is 300. Strength 125. And plus 30 speed. Pretty insane just as is. We're going to do our best to try and make this thing even better. So first off, let's go ahead and add on 10 hot potato books really quickly. Hot potato books are a must-have. They help a ton, and honestly, they're a little bit annoying when you put them on because you just hear all this dinging of an anvil in your ears. But it's nothing I can't get past. You know, I've done quite a few annoying tasks in this game, and this is just another one of those. There we go. 10 hot potato books on this bad boy. I'm debating if I put on fumings. I'm going to be honest. I have like 10 fumings kind of just chilling in my ender chest here. I'm going to ask some people if it's worth. Part of me thinks it is. Part of me thinks it isn't. So I'm going to ask around and we'll decide a little bit later on in the video. But the next thing I want to do is start looking at a reforge. So I went ahead and asked a buddy of mine because I don't want to mess this weapon up. I really don't. This thing's very fancy and a lot of coins, and I'm probably never going to see another one again. So I want to get it right the first time. So I messaged my good friend Deathstreaks. For those of you who don't know him, he's like the #1 Skyblock player. Get familiar. He's good. Also, he has YouTube rank now, which is quite sexy if I don't say so myself. I asked him what reforge should I put my Shadow Fury, and he said, do you have a claw? I then hopped in a VC with him. He told me to put a dragon claw on this thing, and lucky for him, I have one. I don't know if this is worth it. I can't think of anything else in the near future that I'll need it on. Maybe Emerald Blade. I have nowhere close to enough coins to back that up. And if I do, I'll go grind for another claw. Like, trust me, like Twinkle 1 has gotten like, I think like 3 or 4 of these things in like 5 or 6 dragons. So they can't be that hard to find. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, the Dragon Claw. We're going to go ahead and take this bad boy. We're going to go off to the hub really quickly. And we're going to go ahead and toss this thing on. So let's head over to the, what even type of amble is this is? The advanced reforging. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and throw this on. 1 million coins? I didn't know it was 1 million coins. Oh, that's disgusting. That's as much as this thing's worth on the bazaar. I mean, on the auction house right now. That is, I'm going to be broke. I have to do like some mining or something. So tomorrow, maybe we'll do a money-making video. But here we go, 1 million coins, boom. Oh, that hurts. That hurt. I have 92k to my name right now. How long do I have until my cookie? 3 days. Okay, I have 3 days to get my hands on like 3.5 mil. This is the Twins money. I have like nothing left to my name, and booster cookies right now are disgusting. So I'm gonna have to do some grinding for some money soon. I lost 16 mil in like the span of like 24 hours here. This is disgusting. But we have Fabled on it, which is actually really good. First off, it gives 60 strength. It also gives 40% crit damage, which is really, really good. Also, Fable bonus, critical hits have a chance to deal up to 20% extra damage, which is really, really good as well. Overall, great sword enchant. Definitely helps with damage quite a bit. And like the Shadow Fury is like really good for like one-hit damage, right? Like I feel like Livid Dagger is good for like multi-hit, especially like backstabs type of thing. But Shadow Fury, like I'm not even sure what it's exactly good for, and that's kind of why I'm doing this video. We're gonna find out today. The next thing I'm gonna do, because I know I'll get a ton of comments about it if I don't know if I actually want to use this thing in dungeons ever, but I know there's just gonna be way too many comments. So I'm gonna 5-star it. I do have enough Wither Essence, or I should, but I will be broke on Wither Essence afterwards because this thing is quite pricey. 200 for a 3-star, 400 for a 4th star, and 800 for a 5th star. That is quite a bit of Wither Essence, but I hope you're happy. It's a 5-star Shadow Fury now. I don't want to see anyone whining in the comments down below saying I didn't do it, because I did. Okay, I truly did. But now, how much Wither Essence am I down to? 355. So I'm gonna have to look into that in the near future, because I mean, we still need like Wither Armor's coming up. Like I don't think I'm gonna get a Hyperion anytime soon, but you know, it's a possibility that I definitely could. Is there any like big floor 6 things I'm gonna have to put Wither Essence on? Precursor Eye, if I find this, that is so much essence. Well, honestly, yeah, there's other things that I'll need it for. Oh, Necromancer, Lord Armor. I didn't even think about that. That's gonna be a ton. Wither Armor's a ton. Shadow Assassin, 5-starring that. Okay, I need some Wither Essence for some things. Do I have all this 5-star? I do. So I just need the chest plate then. Okay, I'll worry about this some other time. Either way, I need a lot more Wither Essence. The next thing we're gonna do is enchant this bad boy. And here I have something that I don't know if this is the right thing or not. I'm not gonna put like extra enchants on it that are like good from books. I'm gonna put the maximum that the enchantment table can give. And I have a reason behind this, because I've heard that Shadow Fury is really, really good with One for All. And so One for All wipes all the enchants off this thing. I don't have many tier 6 or anything enchant, and I don't see myself getting a One for All in a while, but still just something to think about. Maybe I'll add like a looting 4 or something, like stuff like that. Like things that I have a bunch of, but I'm not going to be using any rare books on it. Not that I really have any, but just thought I'd put that out there. So let me do the basic enchanting, and then I'll be back. So I know I was saying I wouldn't add extra books, but I'm going to add books that I have a ton of. Like I literally have a ton of Lethality and Vampirism 6s. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on, because I don't really see that as a complete waste. I have way too many of these things anyways. I may as well put them on. They're just going to sit here collecting dust if I don't use them on something. And it's not something I would cry about losing if I actually ended up, for example, putting One for All on this thing later on. So I think that's the move. I think that's what I'm going to do. I just realized I probably didn't need that. Never mind. I definitely did. 235. That is a lot of XP to add 1 book on. Oh my goodness. I think I'm gonna have to use the Titanic for this. I'm kind of mad that I just wasted a bunch of grands in the grand scheme of things, but here we go. I'm putting on Lethality 6, Luck 6, Scavenger 4, and Vampirism 6. I'm not putting on Looting 4 because Looting 3 is actually better. HS Fearless, a buddy of mine, he did a test on Ender Pearls with Looting 3 versus Looting 4, and I'm not even joking. Looting 4 and Looting 5 are bugged. Looting 3 gives more. I don't know why. Hopefully they fix this. But so these are the 4 extra ones I'm going to add. I will not cry if I don't see any of these 4 books again. So that should be fine. Let's go ahead and put it on 237 levels. There we go. This thing is fully enchanted now. Obviously, we're still missing an ultimate enchant. That'll be really good on this. I don't really have a good one to put on this though. So that might have to wait. We can put a gemstone on this, which would be pretty cool. And then fumings, which I decided I'm not going to put on because I'm not sure how permanent this weapon is for me, maybe. So, like, right now, I have, like, 10 Fuming Hot Potato books just sitting here, right? And these are expensive. These are actually hard to get on Ironman. Like, you have to pull them yourself. You can't just run over to the auction house and pay, like, however much these are worth, like 5 or 6 mil for 5 of them, right? Like, I actually have to go ahead and hunt these down in a chest and then spend, like, 1,000,000 coins on them, or 800k during Paul. So, I don't know if I want to spend half of my Fuming collection. And I've been buying, like, every one that's been worth 800k, or even a mil sometimes. And I only have 10. So I don't know if I want to spend half of those on my Shadow Fury because I'm not sure how permanent I'll be keeping this thing. So that's kind of my thought process. So I'm going to leave the feelings off for now, but I'm really happy with this right now. So something that was newly added in the Crystal Hollows was this little thing called Power Scrolls. Now, I'm not sure how often people are really using these things, but some of them actually have some decent abilities that we aren't sure if they properly work. But I personally use the Sapphire one, and I know that it works. And I have it on my aspect at the end, as you guys can see here, that little blue circle next to my ability, Instant Transmission. So these work on right-click abilities, which is actually really, really interesting. And there's one here that where you gain plus 10 strength for 5 seconds when using your right-click item ability. Can be combined with an item with a right-click item ability at an anvil. So this is actually really interesting because the Shadow Fury has a right-click ability, obviously, the Shadow Fury. Except for it doesn't take any mana. So there's literally no point to put the Sapphire one on because this item is not mana dependent. What would be really cool though is to up my damage while doing that because it lets me warp around to 5 different mobs dealing damage, and so having an extra 10 strength could actually go a good ways if this thing's actually working. The only problem is you need 16 fine jasper for it and some enchanted paper. The enchanted paper doesn't scare me. The jasper does, because I don't know if you guys have ever tried to go ahead and collect jasper. It's one of the rarest and most expensive gemstones, and luckily though, through my travels, I have actually come across a good amount of jasper, but I haven't even like tried mining it. I just happen to have fine jasper here. I don't even know when I got this. It's there. I plan on using it. We're going to use 16 of it. So all I need to do really quickly is hop down into my cane farm, get some enchanted paper, and then we can actually craft this thing and put it on our Shadow Fury. So I need 48 of this stuff, so I'm going to sit here in my farm for a second, collect this up. This should not take like any time. This will go really, really quick. So let me get this done, and then we can craft ourselves a Jasper Power Scroll, which sounds pretty sick, and hopefully it actually does what it says. There's always some items in Skyblock that are kind of lying to us. I hate to break it to you guys, but hopefully this is not one of those times, and hopefully we can actually feel a difference. And there we go. 48 enchanted paper. We have our Jasper. Let's go ahead and craft this bad boy, just like so. We need 16 from here. We can take 16 just like that. And there we go, a Jasper Power Scroll. This thing looks pretty sick in this texture pack, by the way. I love the look of these Power Scroll pages. So let's go ahead and add this thing onto our Shadow Fury. Alrighty, back in the anvil, we got our Shadow Fury here, our Jasper Power Scroll. We can go ahead and add this on. It's just pretty cool. It's like a little extra bonus that I don't really have to pay attention to. Whenever I use my ability, I get this extra strength, which is pretty nice. So let's go ahead and add this on. Boom, there we go. And now next to our Shadow Fury ability, we have this really cool pink like circle. I actually love like just how it lets you know that you have a power scroll on there. I think that's super, super clean. So big fan of that little addition on. And actually really quickly, we can actually go ahead and put some Jasper into the actual Shadow Fury as a gemstone. Hopefully I don't have to buy the slot for this thing. I don't think I have to. If we put this in, oh, I spoke way too soon. I need 40 fine Jasper to unlock the slot. So this is a grind for another time. I plan on doing that for sure. I'll have to hunt down some Jasper, and maybe I can even try and get like at least a flawless Jasper to put in that thing too. So that goes back in the sack for the time being. A little unfortunate. Well, I can't do that. So I honestly think I'm happy with where this thing's at. I feel like this is the most I can really do to it with what I have on an Iron Man profile. I don't have any really good ultimate enchant I can put on this thing. Obviously, I'm not going to put like, I don't know, like ultimate wise on this thing or something like that. So I'm happy with where it's at. So I say we go ahead and test this thing out. We were doing 27,000 damage before. Let's go see how much we're doing now. So there's a couple tests I want to do. I want to see how much damage I do against a zombie. Right now I have no pet on and no armor. So it's just our Shadow Fury, and let's see how much we do. 61k now. Okay, that's quite good. 69k, okay. 58. 59. So yeah, Fabled gives you like a range because you have the chance of doing 20% more damage. So it's not always the exact same every time, but we're like in the 60s, which is actually really nice. And we went up as high as 69k, which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, actually really, really happy with that. Now let's go ahead and actually throw on a armor set. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. Now what armor set to pick? I think for this test, I'm going to go 3/4 Shadow Assassin as well as my Werewolf Chestplate. I think that's what I'm going to go with. And then in terms of pets, I'm going to go with my Lion Pet. This thing increases my damage quite a bit, adds plus 15 damage and 15 strength to your weapons. First Strike, Triple Strike, and Combo are 100% more effective, and its base stats give me 50 Strength, 25 Speed, and 5 Ferocity. I mean, this thing's just a no-brainer, and it's only an epic pet right now, too, but level 100 nonetheless. Now let's try and hit a mob and see how much we do. We're doing in the 60s. What? There's... Oh my goodness. I did not expect it to be in the 150k. Are you serious? Hold up. Before I was using my Aspect of Dragons and my Soul Whip. Let's test this. 100k, 105k. Okay. And with my Soul Whip, how much was I doing? 78, 63. On the right click, 60 something. That is a massive increase. What? Okay, we're doing like 33% more damage, like 50% more damage. Like, I don't even know what the math is, but this is ridiculous. That is way higher than I was expecting. Okay, I want to go try this on Enderman, because in the end, with Enderman's like Ender Slayer, we're gonna do more. So I'm really curious where our damage is gonna be in there. Alrighty, we're in the end now. Let's see how much we do to a regular Enderman. Wait, I didn't see it. 175k. 189. That is disgusting. Okay, we peaked at 189. How much do I do with my katana? Now I'm curious. Let's go ahead and grab this thing out. This is a Void Edge katana. Wow, we actually do more with our Shadow Fury. This is definitely more consistent, but we're peaking way higher with our Shadow Fury than our katana, but there's some where it's lower. They're actually quite similar in here, to be honest. 170, 185, 165. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. 177, 185. But with our katana, we'll always have a guarantee of 177. That, I didn't realize I could do this much damage. That's actually crazy. I'm actually forging 50 carried. Wow. Okay, that's huge. That's a massive damage increase. As a whole, like everywhere, this thing's gonna help a ton with Slayers. It's going to help a ton just outside dungeons, and maybe even in dungeons if I wanted it to help. That is super sick. Wow. Very successful test, and very successful idea to get this weapon. This thing is actually really cool. And probably the coolest part, that is beautiful. That is seriously beautiful. You'll love to see that. Oh, I'm actually so happy with this thing. Oh, that's so dope. So, there you have it. Our Shadow Fury is so much better than I actually thought it was going to be. This thing is super sick, and there's still things we can do to actually make it better, whether it be getting better armor, obviously, working on getting more talismans, maybe even reworking my reforges on my talismans to make it, like, so I can do a little bit more damage, because I know I'm not completely optimized in that regard, so I'll look into stuff like that. But I believe that's going to be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys did end up enjoying. If you did, make sure to let me know by leaving a comment and a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. Check out my other socials, all linked in the description down below. But without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and peace out.